Here at the Giver Marketing Network, we don't leave you drifting out in space. We connect you to a coach who will help you build and grow your marketing business. Our process acts as a guide on how to connect with other businesses, maintain good relations, and establish a presence on the Giver Marketing Network. Each member within this collaborative group will have the opportunity to leverage your talent and influence, a true network effect. If you are looking to collaborate on more projects, welcome to the Giver Marketing Network, the most trusted and highest rated collective of specialists on the planet. Here we have a group of like-minded professionals who focus on making valuable introductions and helping each other grow by teaming up. Imagine Upwork meets a network and a coach. The talent collectively includes services like visibility and SEO, creating logos, designing websites, managing social media, outreach messaging, visual storytelling, and much more. Think of what you could do with laser-focused allies strengthening your business while offering your talent to the entire network. Click near this video for more information.
Hey, welcome everybody, all the Kingdom Warriors University folks and the Giver Marketing Network. Are you ready? Buckle up. We're going to have some fun we're going to have some conversation today with Cadi Jordan around organic marketing, kind of some of the best practices, and you'll want to take a lot of notes and ask lots of questions because we're going to be able to help learn, help kind of guide you through that. You're going to learn together. There's going to be some great conversation happening here and then also online. So Cadi, with that, would you like to share a little bit of your background, maybe your story of how you got into marketing to begin with?
Yeah, for sure. Well, if I go way back, my background is actually in child growth and development, working with families on the spectrum, on the autism spectrum. And so I have a background in that as well as behavior sciences, I was a behavior analyst for a while. And so I kind of just a transferable skill into this marketing space, right? But also throughout the jobs that I had before leading up to having my own business, I was always given the sales and marketing tasks. It was just like a natural thing for me, management roles in the businesses that I worked within. Then I had my family and I thought, I'm just going to do some work from home and top this up. And social media was just kind of getting rolling. Twitter was super fun back then, right? We took everything offline and tweet ups and all the fun things. And so, yeah, so I just, that's the kind of a natural progression. I really launched my business I saw Scott Stratton was going to be coming to town, but he wasn't coming to Vancouver where I'm from. And he said, do you want to host an event for my book launch? And I was like, okay, grabbed a few friends and things just really took off from there. I had no idea who he was then, but we became fast friends in the marketing space and are still connected to this day. So that's just kind of a little bit about it. But yeah, the behavior analyst piece really just drew in really nicely with the marketing piece. And I'm about
like between the behavior analyst piece and the marketing piece, you got a couple of decades in just learning how people work and how you can best guide them, encourage them, and help them in different ways. So I appreciate you sharing that story, Cadi. And as we jump into some of the kind of the slides, the visuals today, I'm excited to learn. I'm excited to be here, ask some questions, and kind of be part of the audience and go back and forth with you a little bit. So this will be fun. I'm excited. So best organic.
I like to make things fun.
Yes. Thanks, Cadi. Well, go ahead and share with us. We can see the screen, so we're good there. Go ahead and share with us some of your tips and concepts and ideas. And even I saw a couple of tools in there. So I'm excited to kind of see what the audience has to say and questions that they have today. So that'll be good.
You betcha. Sounds good. So yeah, we're just kind of going to launch into best marketing strategies. And we've kind of already given a high level about what I'm up to here. I definitely have extensive experience in the health and wellness space and just some brands that I've worked with, but I've also worked with a lot of technology brands as well. A couple of these are my clients right now. And so we have a lot of fun together. organic social and marketing, all the pieces, have led clients and myself to be on many different featured spots. And little housekeeping, this presentation was originally for like a workshop, but just drop in this chat and ask questions along the way. I am all about that. Fun, informative. I want you guys asking questions, jumping in when you would like to. And Timothy will be having some good questions at the end with us too. So, but yeah, just how to roll with organic marketing strategies. We get bombarded all the time with the pay to play methods, and there's something to be said for paying when it's appropriate, but you really need a really good strategy for that. You do not necessarily need to run ads when maybe all you need is a boosted post, or leveraging like earned media versus your owned media, things like that. So you really want to have that strategy in place so that you don't waste money.
Cadi, let's talk about the earned media versus the other kinds of paid ads. And can you explain that term earned media a little bit more?
Yeah, you bet. So earned media is just the slide before where I said just from leveraging social and being on podcasts and whatnot, using that earned media, being on other people's platforms, and the word that I've grown to use is more like dog fooding your own content or their content. You're just repurposing that where it's applicable. Most of that content can be reused. And what a lot of people do with that earned media is they'll just tweet it out. The person says, okay, it's live now. And they go and they tweet it out and they post it on LinkedIn, and then we never see it again. Really, what you've got in there is a whole transcript that you can pull from. So there's lots of different tools out there that you can leverage in your business. Use the tools that work for you. But yeah, you can just splice that content up and have that to be able to share it out over a longer period of time, and whatever season of time you'd like to choose to do that for, but you can reuse that content very successfully in that way. So that includes video clips, that includes any print materials, podcasts like audio clips, so any of that. And anytime you've really been a guest or someone on your team or within the business you're working with has been on other people's platforms essentially. And so it's a really effective tool. I have clients using that, and one client's got a 98% conversion rate in their sales because that's what they're using. They're using their platform to actually curate and create the content, and then just having that social piece. So it's that one's a little bit AI plus humans, of course, but we know that's all a part of our strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it sounds like to me, ladies and gentlemen, as you're watching this, type in repurpose. Type in the word repurpose and let us know that you're listening, and that it'll help us with the algorithms as you start typing in questions, even when Cadi starts digging in a little deeper here. And so as a form of taking notes, type in the word repurpose in the comments to kind of help us all remember that that's a valid strategy as you're looking at earned media. And actually, Cadi, you were talking, I was thinking, wow. So when we're on these podcasts and even this broadcast right now, you can ask for the file or ask where the file is going to, the video is going to be. And then at that point, with permission, you can go ahead and just use it and repurpose it and just do whatever you need to do with it, because this is good. This is great content. You got the visuals, you got the interview, you got the origin story, you got the actual tips and suggestions, and everything's here. For literally, as we're going through the slides in preparation today, I'm thinking there's like 5 or 6 articles just like sitting right here. This is great stuff. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, pay close attention, take notes in the chat, and let's rock and roll. Here we go. Thanks, Cadi.
Yeah, you betcha. So the owned media piece, of course, is going to be anything you have for yourself. So if that was you hosted an event yourself, again, use the same methods along with this, and your own blog content, all of that, right? So if you submitted all of this material. Like you can, like I said, you can pull the transcript from this. You can even put that as a blog on your own website with backlinks to that earned media. So then you're actually improving your SEO with all of this as well. So there's kind of a whole framework within that piece that is something that you want to consider while you're rolling that out. And just nobody paid any money for that. You just helped each other out, right? So it's good stuff. So the other thing is here, guys, you don't need to be on all the social media platforms. When we're talking about this, a lot of people still believe that. It's been many years of having all the socials, and we know it's an ever-evolving playing space. It's great to save your URLs for all of the sites. And again, that's also partially an SEO piece, but you really just want to use the spots that work best for you. And so don't hang out on all the social media platforms. So personally, right now, I like LinkedIn and Twitter the best. I don't know about you, Timothy, but
yeah.
So you want to build from there. You don't want to spread yourself too thin, and just kind of keep your focus. Don't stress out.
Love it. Love it.
So you also want to know your buyers like the back of your hand, whether you're working within your own business and watching this, or you're a marketer tuned in and preaching to the choir. But just know them like the back of your hand. We know that you need to have a marketing plan. I've always been an out-of-the-box thinker, so I always am connected in my work with the sales team because we want to pull in a social selling piece there where at all possible. There are definitely some that you can keep separate, but mostly you can marry it all together. The PR, the earned media, you can kind of see where this is going just from the start of our conversation. But knowing your buyer, I've got the word puppies on this slide because we know that people come online to be entertained, escape, often come on and learn something, but be entertained. And they're looking at all those cute puppy videos too, or whales breaching, or whatever it is, whatever the topic of the day is out there. So part of your, ideal client avatar, like some of the marketing lingo that we hear out there, just knowing values and versus demographics. So I'm really big on this. Yes, we can dig into demographics. I'm not saying that we're not using demographics at all. We know, for example, that LinkedIn has a higher demographic of those able to spend more money hanging out on their platform. And so there's something to be said for the age and stage of where we are, but values really digs in a lot. So values being that I can be like almost a 50-year-old woman and still have connecting values with that 30-year-old customer, and just be able to really leverage that and using the values to speak to those pain points that they have and the solutions that they need. And so what I found is that values piece matters more so than demographics. And you can have a lot of fun playing around with that. Over time, a few years ago, in my backyard here in Vancouver, I met David Allison, who has Value Graphics. They have the data to back that up. And I was like, who are you? I've been doing this for a really long time, but you have data to go with it. And he's like, absolutely. So he can actually run the data if you go to the website, you'll see a lot of information there, Timothy. I know I can't believe I didn't share this guy with you before, but there's data to back it up. And it's really nice to be able to marry that all together, depending on what type of business that you're working with. So, age, job, leisure activities, all those things still play a part, but it's also part of, leisure activities, part of what people value and how they're spending their time, right? So how does this match up with your product or service and what you're selling? And just what are those audience insights for that? So you want to have a dig into those resources. Your ideal client's going to dictate what they want to see and what they want to hear, what they're up to out there. You want to play detective on other pages. I call it 007ing. And so when I get to work with a client and I want to know more, obviously, about their competition, but also just what's working out there for others and what is going to be unique for that client as well. So part of that is having a look around other people's social platforms and not skipping that step. I find that's a huge piece that even us marketers can forget. So test different formats too. And so video, infographics, text, we still see, we do see a lot of video. We know shorts are working really well in Reels right now. So that shorter video content is leading to a little bit more. We want to just really know that that's what's working and do more of that. It's just a bit of a recap here in the chat, just knowing who you serve. And do you have different segments that work within that? What are the general demographics and values of the people that you're working with, their hobbies, values, and interests, and pain points and goals? What's standing in their way that you are going to offer that solution for? And why wouldn't they buy from you, based on that? So you want to know and be out there optimizing your profiles on your socials and wherever you are showing up online. And so that's your username and rich keywords in your bio, images, and a trackable link back to your website, to your own, your own platform. And we see a lot of link trees out there right now as well. So you want to be really, or link in bio. I'm not sure which your favorite tool, Timothy.
There's a couple of them out there right now that I've been using. The Linktree is a safe bet, I think, for us to pop a, kind of an all-purpose link into our bio section. There's a couple for the speakers and authors out there. One's called sleek.bio.
I've heard of that.
That's a fun one. There's a couple of others too that, as you look at them, they have all their own positives and negatives. Some will list the socials very nicely in the in the thumbnail image, and then some are like super sketchy when it comes to like trying to find out what they look like on different socials. So you want to test them out and definitely play around with that. I did want to ask you a question in regard to this bio section of socials.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of people move away from like keyword stuffing their actual name. Like when they take their name and start typing it in, people used to add their phone number or add their
yes, I remember.
Remember,
you don't see that as much. Yeah, don't overload it, right? Keep it fun and friendly, I say.
Yeah, and there is a difference, right, between your actual name and the bio section. Don't try to pull all that bio information, put it up into your name. That's something that actually looks pretty lowbrow, and it doesn't look professional. Yes. So, ladies and gentlemen, take some keys from Cadi here.
That's a writer downer, guys.
Yeah, check out her socials too. Like, look up Cadi Jordan, spell it with Cadi on LinkedIn, and you'll actually, if you just type in Cadi, you'll probably come, with Cadi, you'll probably come up with her on LinkedIn, Twitter, and some other, probably Facebook as well.
And some photographers in Wales.
Okay, I got you. All right. So ultimately, between you and the photographers in Wales, they're going to find you, and so it'll be great. But I wanted to encourage our audience too to kind of look up your socials and kind of get some ideas of how you're actually doing this, because there's a lot of folks that are recommending really like kind of temporary solutions to and it just doesn't look professional. So I want to encourage everybody to go connect with Cadi on her socials, if nothing else. So that'll be good.
Thanks, Timothy. And for sure, I totally agree with that. Like LinkedIn is obviously more professional platform. Instagram can be super fun. So I like doing bios with emojis that might fit your brand in there and just like make it more eye-catching, right? So there's lots of different ways to kind of do that and just keep the information, short and sweet. The trackable link back to your sites, as we were talking about with the link tree, I just wanted to recap that. That's a nice one for places like, say, even Twitter or Instagram, because you can, and I guess we better call it X, right, Timothy? I'm still not. I don't know if I'm going to make that switch too quick, but yeah, just having that there, the link tree allows you to put in quite a few different links. So you can have your blog, your earned media there. Just people can choose then how they want to check you out through that link. So yeah. You want to create irresistible and engaging content. We talked about this a little bit already. People like puppies. They like to be entertained. So what are they asking for? Connect and audit and really dig in deep to what you are seeing out there for the space and the values of the people that the content is going out for. And you want to expand your content calendar by repurposing that content. Again, just pulling that earned media and owned media in and what that's going to look like. You really do want to check your analytics on this and see, like, is video blogging, what images have gone with it. So the analytics should show you what pieces of content are performing the best and getting the most traction, and you want to use more of what's working. And you may want to retest some of the pieces that didn't seem like they worked as much. You might want to pull those out and schedule those out at a different time, or you might want to use an image that worked really well on another piece of content and try it out on one of the other captions and test that, because we know that can work too. So you also want to grab the ideas from your audience and what's happening out there as well. I work with a nonprofit, actually, Timothy, and this worked really well for them. They were putting out a call for people who had that condition as well. And the link was, we were using the link to drive people back to that content and be able to submit a story. But it actually, the way it was created, that piece of content got so many stories generated on Twitter and so much engagement. People were sharing their stories with each other right in the feed. It was incredible. I've got to screen capture that, but that's just like an example of what things can look like and getting ideas from your audience and how you've worded it. So
I love your approach, Cadi, because you're confident in what you're doing, and you don't have a problem posting content that's very direct. Like, this is what we do to solve the problem in the marketplace, but you're also having fun around that, and you're looking at, like, will people actually share this? Well, is this actually super valuable to the point where they'll stop the scroll and kind of look at it and at least gain some inspiration or encouragement or something from it that I can be proud of? And it's not just pitching every 8 or 9, 10 posts out of 10. You don't want to be pitching. You want to be having this kind of, I always think of the classy gals in the industry, classy people in the industry like yourself, Cadi, who you kind of product place your offering within the grand narrative of what you're doing. And it seems counterintuitive in today's world. Like, you want to bombard everybody with your product or service. And it's like, wait a minute, is there a classy way to kind of just pop that in a conversation, or pop that in a blog, or pop that in a post, or like weave it into it like you would a product in a movie or a product in a trailer or something, where it's pretty clear what's going on, but you're not being like, it's a little bit more creative in where, when, and how you're doing it. It's not detracting from the value of the overall content itself. And I just appreciate your approach to that. Super cool.
Oh, well, thank you very much. You've said it in a really nice way, and I'm going to say it as a person who's been online and social for a long time. Like, I'm really sick of seeing some of what's out there in my feed. Not that everybody isn't, but like, I really am. And I just like to go back to the roots. And that was, I got on Twitter all those years ago, like 2008, like 15 years ago. And that was to meet people, create conversations, and keep the social in this, right? We don't want to be just spraying the media, or spraying and praying, as a lot of people call it. You want to have that conversation. You want to take the conversation offline. And like, Timothy and I have never met in person. We took the conversation offline through a project we were on, and we had a Zoom call. That's the closest we got offline so far, so to speak, off the
virtual
social
coffees. Let's go. This is great.
Exactly. And then back in the day, there was a lot more. Again, I think I mentioned the word tweet up. Like, some people on watching this or the replay are not even going to know what that is, but it was kind of like, hey, let's meet at 5 o'clock at the coffee shop, and keeping it hyper local, and people just getting out and getting to know each other. So getting that social offline.
There's a resurgence of these meetups and and just different different groups, and you might call them different things. You might watch this 10 years later and call them different things, but humans always want to connect with other humans. So don't forget local in your strategy, and at least give a shout out to your region or something, like, so that people can feel comfortable. Like for all the Canadians out there, reach out to Cadi Jordan, like literally, like connect with her. Come on, let's go.
Yes, no, for sure. So you can ethically use your competitors to create killer content, you guys. Again, this does go back a little bit to 007ing and just really just checking out what's working out there online, checking the analytics, using the tools that are available to you out there, SEMrush, lots of different tools, right? So what are some hot topics that are out there, and what's your spin on those hot topics? Sometimes you can read those hot topics or watch a video and it'll get you fired up because you're like, what they're saying is a little bit off. I want to add to this. Like there's a little bit more that goes with this, and you can create your own content around things like that too. What's working out there. Research is an ongoing task. And I want to say here, I've got it on the slide, copying, never acceptable. I've had clients that I've worked with say, oh, we're going to rip and strip. And I'm like, no, we're not actually. It's not quite like that. I mean, I get what they're saying and from their perspective. Again, it's just like, oh, what's working? Okay. And what is your take on that topic? You go ahead and write your own, right? Write your own. It's kind of like,
covers a lot, Cadi. Like what you're saying there about this is never acceptable, ladies and gentlemen. This has to do with
all the time still, right? Yeah. And there's lawsuits going on with AI, Timothy, even because people are using the AI and they're not putting their spin on it, right? So that's a whole other conversation, you guys. But
yeah. Well, I'm glad you have it here because if people could read this list really quickly and take the lazy route, and eventually the market sees how lazy you are with your content, whether it's written, verbal, visual, like whatever it is, like they'll see, we're human beings. We're super smart. Like we pick up things that we don't even realize we're picking up sometimes. Like we're super intuitive. We can see whether somebody's smiling or not, whether, the different like visual, like we can see whether that somebody put time into this. LinkedIn has a great tool where you just and so does Twitter and some of the other platforms now, where you basically just repost what somebody else is posting, but they give you an option to make some comments. Like make your stinking comment.
Make your statement. Make your statement. Don't just share it. I see that all the time too.
Yeah. So I love this. It's a really good like organic tips. Ladies and gentlemen, type in the comments. Do not copy. Do not copy. And usually we always have action items, but this is one of those rare times when it's really appropriate to say, do not copy. You could also say be original if you want to be more positive about it. But
that would be really positive. I just thought of a different word and I'm not going to even say it.
All right. Look, moving on. Sorry, Cadi. I just felt like
I was getting a little social justice-y in my brain.
Real quick, there's a word up here too, competitors. There's nothing wrong with honoring competitors. Like, I don't know, like we get into fear-based mode where, oh no, if I post them, people are going to think I'm not as good as them or I'm not as talented. Yeah. And it's like, how about have enough security in who you are? How about have enough emotional intelligence to actually promote those who are your competitors? Because there's, I don't know, 9 billion people on the planet. Like there's plenty of business out there. And depending on who you're serving and all this, look, you're not getting paid directly for that post anyway. So like, let's just share the love and collaborate. This is one of the best ways to get power partners is to connect with them, share what they're doing. I was just doing this with Bob Berg recently, like the author of Go Giver. And like these you mentioned Gary Vaynerchuk at one point recently. And so I'm just like, what's wrong with like, as long as it's aligned with your values, like Gary's not dropping as many F-bombs nowadays. So that's nice.
Yeah.
So like there's different like ways to kind of share the people that you align with. And it just shows your audience, look, I'm a learner. I'm a collaborator. It's not me, my way or the highway. I'm like, I know some things, but really, I'm a maestro of putting all this together kind of thing. And people respect that. So Cadi, thank you for bringing up some really, really important pieces here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you betcha. Perfect timing. Well, sometimes there is, and sometimes there isn't perfect timing for maximum exposure and engagement, because we know the algorithms are also changing all the time. So it's another good reminder to check the analytics to see what's working and what's not, but also to test the timing and track that too. Like maybe posting in the mornings for your business or organization is working better. Maybe posting later in the day. We know later in the day works great for places like Facebook pages often, because, or early mornings, people are coming home with their coffee, they want to check stuff out, or later in the day when they're escaping and scrolling and all of the things. Well, how are you going to stop the scroll, right? And again, when are your competitors posting? Does that work for you? Sharing around those same times, or does it not? So testing that is really, really important too. Using your client avatars and those values that you've pulled up for them, those types of things. Real time, guys, like we're hanging out real time right now. What's great about a stream like this is that we've got different people in a few groups probably joined us, but also we've got the ability to rewatch that content within those groups. And so you've kind of got a double purpose there too, right? But going live on your Facebook, or going live, even doing on your LinkedIn or your Twitter, all of those things, it's okay to test what works for you. Sometimes it's easier to just be video, right, Timothy, than to actually type things out, or we know we send voice messages. So I think the real-time stuff, like, don't discount it. People want to see real, they want to see human, right? That's the biggest piece of all of this. So the Facebook Lives, the groups, all of that. So
break through the fear, have some fun with it, and
totally.
you'll see the results. Like, that's just the bottom
Totally.
line. Like, be yourself, break through the fear, and have some fun with it, and you'll be fine. And of course, I'm an extrovert, so that's easy for me to say, but there are tactful ways to kind of prepare yourself and take a couple deep breaths, maybe drop a couple nuggets in like a 2-minute video, and you can kind of start there, and then you build up to these longer broadcasts and things like that. And before you know it, you're going to have your own show. So let's have some fun. Okay. This is good. And we can invite each other on each other's shows like Cadi and I do, and just different things. And so this will be fun. But thank you, Cadi, for
Timothy, make a note. I've got a streaming, some Sonic streaming to share with you later.
Okay, cool.
Or in the chat. I can drop it back in later, but yeah. So yeah, you want to create your perfect posting plan. I'm using the word perfect here, but again, don't worry about being perfect. You want to set yourself up for ongoing success, whatever that looks like. So streamline by planning and using your calendar in advance. If I were to really back up the bus here, Timothy, the calendar also is going to be coded, and it's also going to be like, oh, I'm on vacation this week. And you're thinking okay, what do I have after that I want to schedule that might be connecting piece to that, right? But I'm a big fan of that, because we want to know that everybody's taking some time off, clearing their minds, having fun with the family, all these things, taking a break, right? So there's scheduling tools. We know Hootsuite's in my backyard. I've used them. I got grandfathered in at $6 a month or something like that.
Yeah.
But there's lots of different tools out there. Lately is a little bit more sophisticated, because their AI is actually your data versus the tools that have integrated with OpenAI's ChatGPT. That's not your data. We were kind of touching on that a little earlier with the AI piece and combining that with your marketing. You want to make sure that you're tweaking things, rewriting things, using that as a framework. But lately is pulling your content. You could add this video in, and it can transcribe social posts for you and video clips. It can do all of that all together. And you can schedule it out right there. They do also integrate with Hootsuite if you need that capability. HubSpot, Sprinkler, there's a lot of different things out there. You want to use the tools that work for you. And within that, you want to check your metrics, check your data, and see what works for you as far as the posting planning going. So,
all right, ladies and gentlemen, this is about the time when you start thinking about those questions that you want to ask in the comments, because Christine and Oz and possibly Joel, some of the other team members are going to come and ask Cadi some questions. We're gonna kind of have a roundtable discussion here in the next few minutes. I'm just giving you a little like 1 minute warning, like it's not a warning, but a 1 minute encouragement. Like start asking your questions now. So Christine has something to present to Cadi as kind of a topic or a question of some kind, so that she can dig deeper in for you. So this will help everybody. If you ask a question right now in the comments, any kind of question, it will probably benefit more than just you. It'll benefit a lot of us. So go ahead and do that. And Cadi, I just wanted to kind of prepare you and the audience and everybody for that. So that'll be good.
You betcha. So yeah, the key here is that all of the work you're putting in the front part of this, you're kind of front loading your system by doing all of this. The key here is that you're putting in, it sets you up for more engaging success later on too, down the line, and also taking those conversations offline, which I'm a huge fan of.
Love it.
You want to get creative, so you can do your own local guide to other businesses so that you can share and tag them up if you are a local business. Depending on the level that your business is and open at, you can drive through evenings with other businesses and what kind of protocols you want to have in place for that. But you can really, we're getting kind of hyper local here with this, but you want to also bundle business stuff together where it's applicable as well. So we're talking about, I have worked with people who would be my competitors, so to speak. And we've bundled services really nicely together.
Very nicely. I've seen it. Like, yeah, you work very well.
And just like, let's do this together and see how this can work, right? And even just hanging out on webinars and podcasts and things like that. So you don't want to discount any level of where you're going with this, but you're going to test it and see what works. That's part of what brings the fun too, because you are pulling that human connection in, and that's something that, AI is not going to ever replace. We need that human connection. So it's so important. So
yeah,
important.
As we move along here, Cadi, I want to just honor you for and just mention the fact that you're bringing in local and online together is super rad, because ultimately we all have a online presence, but we also have a localized region that is kind of our happy place where we meet. Like, I live in a small town on the coast of Oregon, and I play a lot in Sacramento, California. And if people are in those regions, I just enjoy working with them a little bit more. It's super fun. But we also have this online presence that's technically international. And so I think it's worth noting that you can do both, ladies and gentlemen. It's okay. You can be like this eclectic kind of combination of these two things. And you don't want to, downplay the online. You don't want to downplay the local. They're both really good. And thanks for mentioning that.
Yeah, you bet. And I was really missing that heading into the pandemic, because I've had my business for so long that even right now, I don't have any Canadian clients, to be honest. They're all over the place, everywhere else, a lot of US, but also Europe.
Yeah, change that. Ladies and gentlemen, light up Cadi Jordan right now if you're from Canada. Come on.
Yeah. But on that note, I started a Facebook group any of you could do this really, but during the pandemic, I started a Facebook group just for supporting local businesses within my community. And it's still getting used. It's gotten a little quieter, but it was like, okay, so they're offering curbside pickup. They're offering this, they're offering that. And now it is a place where it doesn't have to be small business Saturday or Sunday, like some of the community groups that are out there. This is drop your business in any day of the week. Tell us that you've got this promotion going on, or tell us that you're supporting your neighbor's promotion, whatever it is.
Yeah. Tell us your story. Tell us something fun or interesting for the region.
Totally. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And then it's also a place where the consumers are in there as well. So they're seeing what's happening, what's going on, and they can also share the love for some of these businesses as well. Free group. That's all I did. That was a way for me to kind of be more hyper connected locally and help people out as well. So I believe in shopping local, even though we really are in a global economy. So however,
do
what we can. That's exactly it. So
all right, we're going to go into some questions at this point. Cadi, is now a good time? Wait, show that one last slide. Show that last slide really quick. So that we don't skip through too much. And if anybody wants the whole slide deck, just reach out to Cadi, ask her for it.
Sure, no problem.
what's that last slide with your information on it?
Oh, to find me?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Come on,
Timothy.
contact her. Let's go. Let's get some emails going to her. Reach out to her on LinkedIn. She responds very well to LinkedIn. I can tell you firsthand on that because we collaborated on some different things and just super fun to work with. So thank you, Cadi, for bringing your genius today. Really appreciate it. Let's invite some of our roundtable, guests, our team members, really, to come in and start asking some questions. And we're gonna go ahead and jump into that kind of that roundtable discussion. And it should be super fun for Christine to be able to go through some of the comments that are coming through as well on the socials. So we're here live. We want to be able to answer your questions. We do see your comments, ladies and gentlemen. We got everything dialed in so we can kind of see your comments. And whether we address them today or whether Cadi circles back to them later, we want to make sure and let you know that those comments are very valuable. Okay. So anything around the tools, anything around the strategies, the local versus, online, and kind of how that works together. Those kind of questions are going to be really fun. And if you want to bring in AI to the conversation and not copying and all that, you're welcome to do that. That we're all talking about it. So let's just be real. Like, we need to have these conversations when it comes to socials and kind of having these organic strategies, these kind of earned media type strategies that Cadi's so good at. So anyway, okay, ladies and gentlemen, we got Oz, we got Christine, we got Joel, and we're going to be asking some questions. So who has the first question for Cadi in the room here before we get to the online comments? Oz, what do you got?
All right, I wrote it in the chat. Please go deeper on play detective on other pages, and also trackable links back to your website from social media photos. I'm an artist.
Okay, awesome stuff. Yeah, no, for sure. So playing detective on other people's pages or social platforms. So that is just playing the detective work, like your competitors or pages that you know are sharing values, things that your audience likes, right? So it could be these pages and other social platforms could be, food related and local. You're a local artist. I mean, you can ship your art anywhere these days, right? So it's different there. But just the values of the people that are going to purchase your services or product. And so it doesn't necessarily mean your competitor. It can mean like these people really enjoy eating out. They enjoy the music scene. Check out what other pieces in the art space for you specifically would they align with, right? And just pull ideas from that, right? And that can also bring up collaboration ideas.
Do you find that people are either overemphasizing research or underemphasizing research when it comes to this kind of thing? Because I don't know, depending on who you work with, it seems like some people are like, I don't care what my competitor's doing. I'm just going to do my own thing. I'm a cowboy or cowgirl. And it's like, you should probably check out what other folks are doing for collaboration purposes, like you just mentioned, for just basic
collaboration. Yeah.
You should probably
so overemphasize. Yeah. Right? Yeah, you definitely get, there's definitely, okay, you called it cowboys and cowgirls. So sure, that's out there. And that's definitely out there. But I think like in this day and age, you're right. Like it's, for me in my brain, it's more about connecting and collaborating. And those competitors may be following other pages, as like if we're really talking about that, they may be following other people. Follow the followers. Let's go have a look at those followers of that other brand. And then what values align with your business more so, right? We're not there to copycat anything at all. We're all fearfully and wonderfully made. Like we can do our own thing. If we want to get cowboy and cowgirl, we do get to do our own thing. It's about what makes us unique out there to others, right? And to the people that we're serving. And so, so I would say it's under researched in the sense of the people that I seem to attract and work with. They're like, oh, I didn't think of that. Oh, I didn't think of that. And the team member's going to go run with that and go do a little digging, right?
Good question, Oz. Thank you for that. And I know Oz is in the art world where there's a lot of inspiration that flies around, and we could even use that term, like find inspiration from your competitors and aligned organizations that you want to maybe partner with in some way. Like find your inspiration in multiple places, and that's a type of detective work. So Joel or Christine, do you have any questions? Oz, we'll get back to you in a second.
Yeah, I got a note. I mean, one of the things that we tried to do for generating activity around some of our clients was to create a Facebook group that was very generic, but was lifestyle oriented, and was wondering if that's still a thing, or, if you think that that's overkill. I mean, the Facebook group we created was around a chiropractic client called Outdoor Activities. And it was just promoting all of the local things you could do this weekend and generate weekend conversations and having weekend warriors share their stories and that sort of thing. And so I didn't know if that's still something trending out there, or what your opinion is on creating experiences on social media around your business profile.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm all for that. I'm all for that in the sense of my background really is in the health and wellness space. So the first probably 8-9 years of my business, it was exclusive to that. So there's a lot of businesses out there that are regulated, and I've done talks with even like financial prep companies, insurance type people, and they can't say certain things out there, investing type stuff. They can't. There's certain information they're not just allowed to share broadly because they're regulated. So chiropractors here in Canada, at least, are another one of those, naturopaths, etc. Creating that community group attached to a brand and just sharing things of value. Again, we're pulling that back to values, and that is huge. So I think, go for it. Is it working? Is it not working? That's when you decide if you're going to run with it and do it or not. But if you're providing value, it's going to be working. And just be careful in those groups how often you're using the @friends @everyone tag, right?
Good tips. We got some nuggets coming through on the round table here. Christine, you probably have a quick note or a question.
And
Oz, we don't want to forget Oz's second part to his question.
Yes.
Well, so Katie, I kept thinking, you kept talking about, hey, we want to take this offline, right? Because the idea is building those relationships. For those that aren't sure how to do that, maybe you can offer some words of advice, because they're like, okay, I want to have a real conversation. I want to get but now what do I talk to them about? Right? How do I do that? Wait, so I know that's a spot that some business owners have problems with.
Oh, it's so true. And I feel like sometimes that is a little bit more of the introvert that is thinking that way, for sure. So it's really just about changing the lens around that and starting with like a one-on-one maybe versus a group scenario. And I'm all about going for the ask, and that's really all you need to do. And so for me, that's just what I've told people. Just ask, right? You've built up a rapport online with someone. Maybe you've had a conversation about a restaurant they were just at, or maybe they posted they went to see a band. It could be something totally unrelated, but you've seen the bio and you're kind of like, I really think I want to talk to that person. Just ask. They're most likely going to say yes for the most part. The phrase we don't want to see out there is the pick your brain, have a coffee chat thing. Those don't work. Those don't work as well. Sliding in the DMs. I would keep it public as well, because usually that also is something that is more effective, and it is because I'm keeping it fun and friendly. So I could be commenting on someone's LinkedIn, someone else comments back, they liked what I said, and then I'm like, oh my gosh, like they look awesome, like, hey, we should connect, and then take that conversation a little bit further. So the more you practice it, then the better that gets too.
The art and science of networking and those kind of things. Here's a tip, ladies and gentlemen. Put we all have our schedulers, our social, calendar scheduler links, whether it's Calendly or something else. Create one just for in-person meetings. When they're local, create one with, Calendly.com / Cadi Jordan or whatever /F to F, face to face, or something really simple. So you can remember, like, I have this link just for local. And we don't talk about local a lot here on these broadcasts because we're all pretty online now and doing that. But there's such a super positive way to kind of connect with maybe 3 or 4 power partners in your region. And then at that point, you're like, this is fun. Like, we could actually hang out at the ball game too. Like, we've been scheduling ball games and regional stuff and book launches, and so all sorts of things happening just kind of in proximity. So super fun. Oz, you had a follow-on question that I cut you off early, so I apologize. There was a backlink question that you had specifically around, was it a particular platform or anything specific?
Yeah, well, being an artist, I post a lot on Facebook, and I got a pretty decent following. And you talk about backlinking everything. How do I backlink photos to my website when I create a copious amount of art and most of that stuff's not even on my website? So is that a moot point?
Yeah, my recommendation would be to have it on your website, and then that's a way that you can drive the traffic back to your website.
I don't know how much art I create.
Pardon, you're a creator. And
you don't
hey,
know how
you know
much
what?
I create with AI.
Yeah,
Impossible
and so that's
to
a great,
on the website.
Yeah, great way to do it. Another thing to remember with that, you guys, is like you just said, you have a pretty good Facebook following. People enjoy following you there. Say you wanted to build up another platform like Instagram, just remembering to cross-link those by, taking the Instagram link, dropping that in the comments even, or taking that post and dropping it in your caption. I'm just saying, hey guys, I really want to be building up my Instagram. You can be dead honest about it. I just want to build up my Instagram. If you're not following me there, please come follow me there, or Twitter, etc. So creating the links on your website and sharing from there, Joel, exactly. That's the thing, right? So if you have your photos uploaded there, you can use those links to share back. If you need help to get stuff onto your website, then reach out to someone for help if you can do that, and go from there, because it's great to drive traffic back to your own real estate, right? At the end of the day, we saw what happened. Twitter is now called X. And wonderful. I'm still using it the same myself, really. But at the end of the day, you never know. And what if it just went down for good? Like, that's not your stuff that you put out there. Is
cross promoting, backlinking, making tactfully, just welcoming people into the other rooms in your house, if you will, like if your own real estate, to use that analogy. That's a great tip. Thanks for the question, Oz. It's a really good question.
And Katie, I got a bunch of Canadian connections for you. So let's do a one-on-one.
It's interesting. Some of the blogs now that are in the website will actually give you all the share links once you've published it on your blog. So you can actually go down the list and grab all those share links.
Yeah, for sure. And there's different plugins for your website depending on the platform that you're using. And yeah, it can be very, very helpful, and also helpful for your search engine optimization stuff too, your SEO, right? And how you're found online. Thanks.
Great comments. Great questions. Christine, are there any questions in the kind of the online world as people are stunned and Cadi is bringing some good stuff and this conversation is great? Any comments or patterns that you see in the online comments?
I'm seeing lots of people loving the resources and the advice that Cadi's sharing. Lots of ooh, what? And then writing things, repurpose, right? And you got a lot of fans out there, Cadi.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And some people are building their own pages on their websites around some of these we talk about Linktree, and we talk about what else did we mention? Sleek.bio and a couple of others. I also popped in one called linkfly.to. And there's all these little ones, they're all popping up all over the place. You can just check them all out and use them for different things. But at the end of the day, you might want to start looking at maybe building out your own web page that has a lot of this kind of built into it. It's almost like your own bio meets your socials, meets maybe a video of your story or something that it may not be your home page, but it could certainly be a page that you
Could be a hidden page that you drive people to, whatever you want to do, right?
Yeah, you can do it. And I see Jim Padilla did that in the comments here. And so I just want to give a shout out.
Yeah, that's good.
Other professionals that are doing a good job at kind of taking it to that next level. So great job. Yes. Cool. Any other questions as we land the plane, ladies and gentlemen? This is getting like too fun. We might end up having to go to dinner together or something if we just keep going. But like anything else that we want to kind of, Christine, can you wrap us up with not only how to connect with Cadi, but also what we're doing tomorrow as well?
Absolutely. Well, so you definitely want to connect with Cadi. She had lots of wisdom to share with us today. Thank you so much, Cadi. So reach out to Cadi at Cadi@cadijordan.com. Make sure you connect with her. She's always willing to offer some advice there. And then that's today, but tomorrow is networking for marketers. So if you're a marketer out there, we don't want you to be a lonelypreneur. Come hang out with us and come be part of our tribe. Cadi, we're hoping to see you there too. So that's on Wednesdays at the same time slot as this. So 10 a.m. Central, which is 11 East Coast and 8 a.m. in the West Coast. I think we should
nice math, Christine. Yeah,
that was good. Everything should be central. We're in the middle.
I know y'all mountain and central time people. You figure it out. Like, do the math, ladies and gentlemen. But I like what you said. The same time tomorrow, but we're using the link givermarketing.com/ what is it? Networking.
Yeah, givermarketing.com/networking. Sign up once, save the link, come hang out with us. This is it's a no cost event, right? Come hang out with us and make friends with other marketers.
Come on, let's go. Let's party together. Hey, when you're looking up Cadi, you can keep that streaming along there, Christine, if you want. But when you're looking up Cadi, remember to spell it Cadi. That's all you got to remember. C-A. It sounds like a beginning of a song. It's like Y-M-C-A. No, it's C-A-D-I. No, okay. All right. So anyway, Joel's like, man, that's a weird tie-in, man. What are you doing? Okay, C-A-D-I. Look her up. Connect with her. Use the word giver. Let her know you saw her on this broadcast. Use the word Kingdom Warriors. Let her know you saw her on one of these broadcasts that we're trying to help each other and kind of cross promote and connect and give some value to the audience so that they can trust us to be able to collaborate or work together or hire you or whatever. This is what we love to do. We love to kind of light up the marketing world with positive people. And our big vision is really a world of causes and companies doing some good. Like, they're shaping culture for good. Like, that's what we do at Kingdom Warriors, Giver Marketing Network, some of the other art collectives like Oz is developing, and others. Like, some of this stuff, it all ties together. It's all on like one big grand mission. And I'm a person of faith. A lot of us are people of faith. So we kind of say, look, there's a bigger purpose here. Like, there's a bigger mission than just our own mission. Our own mission is important, but it follows a grand narrative. So I just want to encourage everybody that can jump into these ecosystems at least once a week. Connect with some folks. If you're a person of faith, think of it like marketplace fellowship. Okay, like, just connect with some folks that really enjoy doing some good in the world, whether it's in a marketing group like ours or somewhere else. But we just want to encourage you. You don't have to be alone. It's okay. Like, you can have friends in the same space or similar spaces, and we can rock this together. So anyway, a little inspiration for you today. God bless you guys. We'll see you tomorrow. Givermarketing.com/networking.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.